Chosen one, your struggles are proof that God is building you differently. My beloved child, before you move even one finger, before your mind tries to judge what you are hearing, pause. Don't skip. What you are living through right now is not random, not ordinary, and definitely not a mistake. Most people never reach this moment, because they quit before understanding why their life feels heavier than others. You've asked yourself in silence why the pressure never seems to lift, why even small victories cost you so much energy, why your path looks nothing like the paths around you. Here is the truth that few are allowed to hear: your struggles are proof that God is building you differently. Not better in a loud way, not faster in a flashy way, but deeper, stronger, and with a purpose that cannot survive a shallow foundation. While others are given ease to test their comfort, you are given resistance to test your core. Every delay, every closed door, every misunderstood season is shaping something inside you that comfort never could. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you in this realization, and once it lands, you will never see your pain the same way again. There is a reason your lessons came early and without warning. There is a reason you had to mature when others were still experimenting with life. God does not waste intensity on people who are meant to live ordinary stories. You were not designed to be impressed by small things or broken by temporary storms. That's why your journey feels isolating at times, as if no one fully understands what you're carrying. It's because the weight you hold is not meant to be distributed yet. Gold is not shaped in soft hands. It is refined in pressure that looks unbearable from the outside. When you feel stretched, it's because your capacity is expanding. When you feel unseen, it's because preparation happens away from the crowd. The same struggles that make you question yourself today will become the evidence of your strength tomorrow. Don't skip this moment, because once you understand this, you stop asking, "Why me?" and start realizing, "This had to be me." Right now, you may think your life looks delayed compared to others. Their success seems quicker, their joy louder, their progress visible. But what you don't see is that speed is not always favor. God is not rushing you because what you are being built for cannot be sustained by a rushed version of you. If He released you too early, the weight of your calling would crush you instead of elevating you. So He allows the struggle, not to punish you, but to anchor you. Every setback is installing discipline. Every disappointment is sharpening discernment. Every lonely stretch is teaching you how to stand without applause. Stay till the end of this journey, because one day you will look back and realize that the struggle wasn't blocking your destiny, it was guarding it. And when your time comes, it won't look like luck. It will look like undeniable preparation finally meeting its moment. My beloved child, listen carefully now, because what I'm about to say is the reason your soul feels restless even when your life looks fine on the outside. Don't skip. You are uncomfortable because comfort was never meant to hold you for long. God allows pressure to visit you again and again because pressure reveals what pleasure hides. When everything is easy, people stay shallow. But when things are heavy, depth is formed. You've been forced to confront yourself, your fears, your limits, your faith, earlier than most people ever will. That wasn't cruelty, that was selection. Some are protected from struggle because they would break under it. You were given struggle because it would build you. Every time you thought, why is my life so hard compared to others? Heaven was silent because the answer could not be explained back then. It had to be lived. Stay till the end, because once you fully understand this, the frustration you carry will turn into clarity, and clarity changes everything. Here's something shocking most people never realize: the more God plans to trust you with, the more He first strips you of shortcuts. You don't get easy wins because easy wins create weak hands. You don't get constant support because constant support creates dependence. You don't get fast success because fast success creates arrogance. So God removes the cushions from your life and lets you feel the ground. That's why you had to learn discipline the hard way. That's why failure taught you more than praise ever did. That's why disappointment shaped your character more than encouragement. If this message is hitting you deep, take a second, share this with someone who feels lost like you once did, and stay connected because what's coming next will change how you see your entire journey. Your pain is not a sign you're behind. It's a sign you're being reinforced. Something huge is waiting for you on the other side of this understanding, and you are closer than you think. Now hear this and don't let your mind resist it. The season you're in is not meant to make sense emotionally, it's meant to make you solid internally. God is building you in layers others never develop: patience that doesn't panic, strength that doesn't announce itself, faith that doesn't collapse when results delay. One day, when others fall apart under pressure you've already survived, you'll understand why your road was rough. This is why your story will carry weight, not just noise. If you feel this truth aligning inside you, stay till the end of this journey and stay connected, not for popularity, but for reminders like this when the weight feels heavy again. Your struggles are not evidence of rejection. They are proof of preparation. And when the moment arrives, you won't just step into it. You'll be able to stand there without breaking. My beloved child, there is something happening inside you that words have struggled to explain, and that's why this season feels so confusing. Don't skip. The silence you're walking through is not emptiness, it's alignment. God often grows His strongest instruments in quiet places, where noise cannot interfere with refinement. You've noticed how distractions slowly fell away, how certain people drifted out of your life without drama, how things you once chased stopped exciting you. That wasn't loss. That was separation. You are being tuned, not punished. While others are entertained, you are being instructed. While others are celebrated early, you are being trained privately. This is the part of the journey where many quit because nothing external is happening, but internally, everything is shifting. Stay till the end, because this understanding will protect you from comparing your timeline to anyone else's ever again. Here's a truth that shocks most people when they finally see it: God often isolates those He intends to elevate, because crowds can dilute purpose. If everyone had access to you right now, they would interrupt the work happening within you. That's why you've had to sit with your thoughts more than you wanted. That's why life forced you to face yourself without escape. In that space, you learned discernment instead of reaction, depth instead of surface confidence, wisdom instead of noise. You are becoming someone who doesn't move emotionally with every wave. Someone who observes before acting. Someone who doesn't need validation to stay steady. This is not accidental. This is construction. And construction is always messy before it looks meaningful. If you've ever felt like quitting during this phase, remember this. Buildings don't stop being built just because the foundation looks empty. Something huge is waiting for you above ground, but it requires what's happening below it right now. One day, people will look at your calm and call it luck. They'll admire your strength and think it came naturally. They won't see the nights you questioned yourself, the moments you stood alone without reassurance, the times you had to keep going without clarity. But you'll know. You'll know that this stability was earned in hidden battles. You'll know that your confidence was shaped by survival, not applause. And in that moment, you'll stop wishing your life had been easier, because you'll understand that easy lives break under pressure you were trained to carry. Stay till the end of this message and keep it close, because when your season changes, and it will, you'll realize that God didn't delay you. He developed you. And the difference between delay and development is the difference between collapse and longevity. My beloved child, this is the moment where your mindset decides everything. Don't skip. What you do with this season will either multiply your future or silently sabotage it. Many people go through struggle, but only a few extract wisdom from it. You are being invited to see what others miss. God is not just shaping your strength, He is reshaping your perception. That's why old dreams died and new ones haven't fully appeared yet. That space in between is sacred. It feels uncomfortable because your old identity can't survive there, and your new identity isn't fully revealed yet. Most people panic in this gap. They rush. They settle. They distract themselves. You didn't. You stayed. And staying is proof of maturity. Something huge is waiting for you, but only if you resist the urge to escape this phase too early. Here's a powerful truth that separates chosen builders from temporary achievers. God tests consistency before He releases capacity. You were never meant to shine once and disappear. You were meant to last. That's why your lessons repeat until they transform you. That's why the same challenges come back in different forms, not to frustrate you, but to confirm that you've changed. If this message resonates deep inside you, pause for a second and share it with someone who feels stuck but doesn't know why. Stay connected to reminders like this by supporting the channel, because what's coming next in your journey will require clarity more than motivation. When pressure rises, you won't need hype, you'll need truth. And truth is what keeps you standing when emotions fluctuate. Now listen carefully and stay till the end. The version of you that God is building will not need to prove anything to anyone. You will move with quiet authority. You will choose peace over approval. You will recognize opportunities without chasing validation. This is why your struggles were intense. Intensity creates discernment. One day, when doors open effortlessly, you'll realize it's because you learned patience when nothing moved. When responsibility finds you, it will be because you learned discipline when no one was watching. Your struggle is not your identity, it's your training ground. And when the moment finally arrives, you won't be surprised by the weight of it, because you were built to carry it long before it appeared. My beloved child, there is a quiet shift happening now, and if you're not paying attention, you might mistake it for exhaustion. Don't skip. What you're feeling is not burnout, it's transition. This is the stage where old coping methods stop working and new strength hasn't fully settled yet. You're no longer motivated by survival, but you haven't stepped into purpose-driven momentum either. That middle space feels heavy because it demands honesty. God is asking you to stop carrying versions of yourself that no longer fit. The people pleaser, the over-explainer, the one who kept proving worth through pain, those layers are being peeled away. It feels uncomfortable because you've worn them for so long they felt like protection. But protection is not the same as preparation. Stay till the end, because once you understand this phase, you'll stop fighting it and start moving with it. Here's a realization that changes everything. God doesn't just build strength, He builds restraint. Anyone can react, complain, or rush. Very few can pause, observe, and choose wisely under pressure. That's why your emotions have been tested so deeply. You had to learn when to speak and when silence is power. When to walk away without explanation. When to trust without proof. These lessons don't look impressive on the outside, but they decide outcomes later. The reason your life didn't explode overnight is because explosions fade. What you're being built for requires stability. That's why temptation came disguised as shortcuts. That's why impatience whispered that you were falling behind. But every time you resisted, something locked into place inside you. Something huge is waiting for you. Not as a surprise, but as a natural next step for someone who learned control before expansion. Soon, you'll notice that situations that once triggered you no longer have power over you. Not because you became numb, but because you became grounded. This is when you'll realize your struggles weren't just shaping your future, they were protecting it. You were being trained to move without ego, to decide without fear, to stand without noise. When the moment arrives where others panic, you'll be calm. When others rush, you'll be clear. And people will wonder how you became so steady. They won't see this season. But you will. And you'll know that nothing was wasted. Not the waiting. Not the confusion. Not the quiet battles. You weren't being slowed down. You were being fortified. And once this clicks fully, you won't need reassurance anymore, because you'll finally trust the way God chose to build you. My beloved child. This is the part most people never reach, because it requires patience when nothing is being announced. Don't skip. You're being taught how to hold power before power is visible. Right now, you're learning to stay disciplined without rewards, faithful without applause, and consistent without external pressure. This is rare. Most people need recognition to continue. You're being trained to continue even when no one is watching. That's why progress feels invisible. God is watching what you do in the unseen, because what you do there determines what you can be trusted with later. Stay till the end, because this truth will free you from craving validation that was never meant to fuel you in the first place. Here is a deep reality few talk about: elevation exposes weakness faster than struggle does. That's why God strengthens you privately before lifting you publicly. If He lifted you earlier, your unresolved fears would rise with you. Your unhealed reactions would sabotage you. Your need for approval would drain you. So instead, you were kept in a place where growth mattered more than appearance. This is why your journey looks slower but feels heavier. Heavy paths produce grounded people. And grounded people don't fall when the ground shakes. If this message is helping you see your life clearly, stay connected and support this space so reminders like this continue reaching those who need them. What you're preparing for requires clarity, not speed. Very soon, you'll notice a shift in how you see yourself. You won't chase roles, titles, or validation anymore. You'll recognize alignment when it appears, and you won't force what isn't meant for you. This is the sign that your foundation is set. When opportunities come, you'll step into them calmly, not desperately. And that calm will confuse people who knew your struggle. They'll wonder how you became so steady without a dramatic breakthrough moment. But you'll know the truth, your breakthrough happened quietly, piece by piece, in seasons where no one clapped. You weren't overlooked. You were being equipped. And when your moment arrives, because it will, it won't overwhelm you. It will fit you. My beloved child, this is where the story quietly turns, and most people miss it because they're waiting for noise. Don't skip. The sign you're ready is not excitement. It's calm. You've noticed it, haven't you? The way urgency is fading. The way you no longer need to convince anyone. The way you can sit with unanswered questions without panic. That's not you losing ambition. That's you gaining authority over yourself. God builds leaders from the inside out, and inner order always comes before outer expansion. You're no longer driven by fear of being left behind. You're guided by discernment. Stay till the end, because this shift explains why what's coming will not shake you, it will suit you. Here's the once-in-a-lifetime truth most never hear: destiny doesn't arrive loudly, it aligns quietly. The reason nothing dramatic announced itself yet is because your life is being synchronized, not shocked. When timing locks in, movement becomes effortless. Doors won't need force. Conversations won't need persuasion. You'll recognize opportunities by peace, not pressure. This is why impatience was removed from you layer by layer. This is why you learn to wait without bitterness. When others chase signs, you'll sense alignment. When others rush decisions, you'll choose precision. That's the difference between those who rise briefly and those who remain. Something huge is waiting for you, not as a surprise, but as a confirmation of the person you've already become. And when it finally unfolds, you won't feel the need to explain your journey. Your presence will explain it for you. The confidence you carry will be quiet. The strength you move with will be steady. People will feel it before they understand it. They'll trust you without knowing why. That's the reward of being built differently. Your struggles didn't harden you, they refined you. They didn't slow you, they stabilized you. And in that moment, you'll realize the greatest gift wasn't the outcome, it was who you became while waiting. Hold this truth close. You were never late. You were being prepared to arrive complete. My beloved child, this is the final truth you were meant to hear, and it only lands when everything else has already reshaped you. Don't skip. You were never meant to blend in, and that's why your life never followed the common route. God builds some people to withstand weight others will never be asked to carry. That is why your lessons were heavier, your waiting longer, and your understanding deeper. You were trained to stand when things feel uncertain, to move when clarity is partial, and to remain steady when outcomes are delayed. This wasn't to test your limits, it was to expand them. Stay till the end, because this realization completes the picture you've been trying to understand for so long. One day, you'll notice that you no longer crave arrival the way you used to. Not because you stopped dreaming, but because you trust the process that shaped you. You won't rush moments or force timelines. You'll recognize when it's time to act, and you'll move without fear of loss. That confidence will come from knowing you've already survived the hardest parts quietly. The struggles that once made you doubt yourself will become the reason you trust yourself. This is the kind of strength that cannot be taken away, because it wasn't given suddenly, it was built slowly. Something huge is waiting for you, not as a reward for patience, but as a natural result of growth. When you finally step into what has been preparing for you all along, it won't feel overwhelming or unreal. It will feel familiar. Like something you've already practiced for in silence. And that's when you'll understand the full truth: God didn't just shape your future, He shaped you to match it. Your journey wasn't about reaching a destination. It was about becoming the kind of person who could hold what was coming without losing themselves. You were built differently on purpose. And now, nothing about your story feels accidental anymore.